Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Bold and the Beautiful B&B. Spoilers hint that Hope Logan, Annika Noel, has professed her undying love for previously dumped Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor. But should he be worried about dying Liam Spencer, Scott Clifton? Here's what we know so far. Carter eavesdropped on Lope having a serious convo in which the blonde stated her love and affection for Liam. Carter left before hearing the integral part, Liam's dying. Oopsie. Hope later called Carter. He said come to my loft, and there they met to talk things out. Hope revealed that Steffy Forrester, Jacqueline Messins Wood, hired her back at FC. And oh by the way, let's get back together. Carter was confused and cited his eavesdropping on Hope telling Liam he's her future. Hope tried to explain the news that no one is supposed to know, but most of LA does. Liam is dying. So all that love talk was out of pity. Can Carter comprehend this? After all, he heard her and Liam get mushy at Brooke Logan's, Catherine Kelly Lang. House. Carter is stunned to hear about Liam's brain tumor. She tells Carter that Liam's death sentence made her see the light about life's uncertainty and now wants a future with the lawyer/corporate raider. Carter assures her that he is her rock and will be her support through this horrible time. So far, so good. However, tons of fans are skeptical about this love at last scenario, as they think they saw suspicion on Carter's face. Why? Because of the ardor with which Hope told Liam she wants a future with him. Even though he won't be around for it, can Carter get past Hope's obvious love for her ex? In fact, it was only when Hope thought there was no chance with Liam that she swerved back to Carter. Does Hope really want to spend the rest of her life with Carter? It was just yesterday that Hope broke his heart and seemed intent on moving on. This is what lots of fans think, that Hope is transferring her love for Liam to Carter. There is also the elephant in the room. What if Liam gets a miracle cure? Then what? Tell us B&B fans. Do you think Carter is better off with fragrant Daphne Rose, Muriel Hilaire? Or should he hop on board the Hope Express once again? Los Angeles is rarely quiet. Even when the palm trees sway peacefully and the waves crash in rhythmic pulses along the coast, something always stirs beneath the surface, especially in the lives of the Forresters, Logans, and Spencers. And this week, The Bold and the Beautiful drops a bombshell that promises to send ripples through every family in town. Liam Spencer lives. But for two people, Hope Logan and Carter Walton, this miracle doesn't come without consequence. In fact, Liam's return from the brink may unravel everything they've built, or expose what they've been desperately trying to ignore. The calm before the storm. Hope hadn't expected to smile again, not the way she did when Carter held her hand in the candlelit quiet of his beachside apartment. The grieving widow had found unexpected comfort in the arms of the seemingly unshakable Forrester CUO. What started as emotional support blossomed into something tender and passionate, something real. Or so they both told themselves. Carter had hesitated. He'd lost women before, had been the rebound more times than he could count. Quinn, Zoe, Katie. But Hope felt different. He saw strength in her vulnerability. He found peace in her presence. They weren't hiding exactly, but neither had shouted their growing relationship from the rooftops either. I don't want to be a replacement, Carter had told her one night, his voice heavy with sincerity. You're not, Hope had whispered, brushing her lips against his. You're the reason I'm still standing. But everything changes when a single phone call pierces their shared world. The call that shatters. It comes late at night. Hope is curled up on Carter's couch, barefoot, her head resting on his chest. The news anchor's voice murmurs quietly from the television, but neither of them is paying attention. Then her phone buzzes. Hope, it's Steffy. Her heart stutters. We found him. Liam's alive. The room spins. Carter's arms instinctively wrap around her, grounding her. But her mind has already left the apartment, already sprinting across LA to the man she thought was gone forever. Liam is in the hospital. Weak. Disoriented. But alive. What really happened to Liam? Turns out, Liam had never died at all. After the accident, a freak cliffside fall during an argument with Finn, he'd been pulled into the water and presumed drowned. The search had yielded no body, and after weeks of mourning, the world had reluctantly accepted the worst. But Liam had survived, rescued by a passing fishing boat, his memory temporarily erased by trauma. He spent the last month in a small coastal clinic north of Big Sur, his identity a mystery until fragments of his life came crashing back. I kept seeing your face, he tells Hope with tears in his eyes. I didn't know your name, but I knew I had to come back to you. Hope sobs as she clutches him in the sterile hospital room, torn between joy and guilt. Carter's name lingers on her tongue, but she can't speak it. Not now. Carter's silence. Carter watches the coverage on the news in stunned silence. Images of Liam, alive, smiling, broken but breathing, flash across the screen. The city erupts in celebration. Brooke weeps. Steffi hugs Kelly tighter. Bill pledges to make up for lost time with his son. But Carter? He disappears. He doesn't text. Doesn't call. Because deep down, he knows what Liam's return means. He had dared to hope that he and Hope were building something solid. But now the foundation is cracking beneath their feet. How could she not go back to Liam? How could he ask her to stay? The confession. It takes Hope 3 days to face Carter again. When she finally does, she's standing in his office at Forrester Creations, her fingers curled around the doorframe like she's afraid she'll collapse without the support. I didn't know how to say it, she admits, tears already brimming. I still don't. You don't have to, Carter replies gently, closing the folder he's been pretending to read. I saw the way you looked at him, you love him. I loved him, she insists. I still do. But it's not that simple. You and I, what we have, it's not just some reaction to grief. I need you to believe that. I do, Carter says quietly. But you also need to figure out what comes next. She nods, choking back a sob. What if I don't want to go back to what I had before? That's a question only you can answer. Ridge warns Carter. As if the emotional turmoil wasn't enough, Ridge Forrester, never one to keep his opinions to himself, makes his thoughts known. You care about Hope. That's obvious, Ridge says one afternoon, cornering Carter outside the Forrester elevator. But don't be the guy who stands between her and her family. Don't be that guy. Carter bristles. I'm not standing between anyone, she came to me. Yeah, when she thought Liam was dead. But he's not. And you know what that means. Carter clenches his jaw, not replying. Ridge's words sting because they hold some truth. But Carter also knows something Ridge doesn't. Hope hasn't gone back to Liam. Not yet. Brooke's dilemma. Meanwhile, Brooke Logan finds herself caught in a conflict she never expected. She was devastated when Liam died, furious when Hope turned to Carter in the aftermath. But now that Liam's back, Brooke isn't sure what's best for her daughter. Do you still love him? She asks Hope one afternoon over tea. I don't know what I feel, Hope confesses. I look at Liam and remember everything we survived, everything we've lost. But then I look at Carter and I feel new, like I'm finally allowed to be me. Brooke sighs, torn. I just want you to be happy. But I also know what heartbreak can do to a person. Then maybe it's time I stop repeating the past. Liam's plea. Liam is well enough to go home after a week in recovery. Hope picks him up from the hospital, driving in silence as he watches her from the passenger seat. She's beautiful, composed, but distant. I meant what I said, he tells her once they're parked outside the cabin. Every memory that came back, it was about you. Beth. Us. I'm glad you're alive, she whispers. More than you know. But I changed, Liam. When you were gone, I had to learn how to live again. And someone helped me do that. Carter. She nods, eyes glistening. I'm not asking you to forget him, Liam says softly. But give us a chance. Let me remind you what we had. Hope doesn't answer. The breaking point. Hope walks the beach alone the next morning, thinking of Beth, of Liam's embrace, of Carter's warm smile and strong arms. Every wave crashes like a heartbeat in her chest, steady, relentless, reminding her that time won't stop for her grief or confusion. She finds Carter waiting on a bench near the pier. "I needed to see you," she says. "I wasn't sure you would." "I can't pretend I'm not pulled in two directions," she says honestly. "I want to honor what Liam and I had. But I also want to be true to what you and I could have." "You don't know me anything," Carter replies. "But I want to choose," she says, stepping closer. "Not out of guilt, not out of obligation, just from my heart." What comes next? By week's end, Hope makes a decision, but doesn't reveal it right away. She gathers Liam, Carter, and Brooke in the Forrester showroom. Standing tall under the dramatic spotlights, every eye on her. "I've spent weeks crying over what I lost, and days confused over what I found. But this isn't about going backward anymore. It's about finding my own path." She turns to Liam first. "You'll always be a part of my heart. You're Beth's father. My past. My first love. But I don't think I'm meant to be your wife anymore." Liam's face falls, but he nods, swallowing his devastation with grace. Then she turns to Carter. "You show me what love without expectation looks like. You held me together when I thought I'd break. And if you'll still have me." Carter's eyes widen. "You're sure? I'm choosing you. Not because Liam's alive or not, but because you make me feel alive." Final scene. As Hope and Carter walk hand in hand out of Forrester Creations, Liam watches from the mezzanine, a shadow behind the glass. He doesn't cry. He doesn't rage. He simply accepts. Sometimes love means letting go. And sometimes the most powerful endings are really just new beginnings. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Boldy and BAUTFUL UPDAT YouTube channel for more update news.